once again to It's a Mystery, the show that tries to find answers to all those unbelievable mysteries that baffle us all. Yes, Ben and Shelley have been looking into some more amazing incidents and spooky stories. We reveal what unexpected set of events led up to a woman's emergency dash to hospital. And it's a mystery why someone would need more than their fair share of these things. Lucky Charms. And we tell the story of a special relationship between a dog and a parrot that lasted literally forever. You know, occasionally, some of the most mysterious happenings aren't actually what they seem. They're just the work of an individual person's mind playing tricks or an over-enthusiastic imagination, as in this next story. It's a mystery how Daphne Vale survived one of the most frightening moments of her life. And this one really is quite bizarre.
Picture the scene. It's a cold, wet day, and Daphne Vale is driving along the streets of her home near the West Midlands. Daphne was a local do-gooder and had spent the afternoon shopping for some old folk in the local area. She was about to drop off one last bag of shopping to dear old Mrs. Dawson.
And our next work from Handel's Water Music, the Allegro.
Mrs. Dawson had just moved to the area and Daphne didn't have a new address.
It's Dahlia, I'm sure it's Dahlia.
Turning her heater up to full power, Daphne made her way along Playdale Street.
I don't know where I am.
About halfway down, she realised she must have taken a wrong turning. Frustrated, she tried to think of where to go next, but it was difficult. This was an area of town that she was unfamiliar with. Nervously, she pulled to the side of the road to get her bearings. Daphne glanced into her wing mirror, and there, standing on the corner of the street, staring directly at her, was a gang of youths. Growing increasingly anxious, she locked the doors and turned up the radio. She was trying to remain calm and drove off down the road when there was an almighty bang, and Daphne was hit in the back of the head. Panic set in as she felt an oozing, sticky mess.
I think I've been shot.
Wow, had she really been shot? Or was there another explanation? Well, she was driving in an area that she was unfamiliar with, and she was frightened by that gang of youths. So could she somehow have overheated in the car, or had she actually been shot? Either way, she needed help, and she needed it fast.
But it was no use calling for an ambulance. She was lost. She had no idea where she was. By the time she'd eventually have found her bearings, well, it was getting dark. She arrived at the hospital reception and ran from the car, clutching her oozing head in her hands.
Somebody, I've been shot. Help me. Somebody, please help me.
Daphne ran into the hospital via the nearest entrance. It was hot. She felt dizzy. She needed to grab someone's attention and grab it fast. In a last-ditched attempt, growing weaker by the minute, Daphne wailed,
Help me, somebody please help me, I've been shot.
Daphne swayed, her vision blurred. She went lightheaded, then all of a sudden, it just went black. Easy does it. Luckily for Daphne, she was spotted by the hospital porter. Immediately, she was put onto a stretcher and rushed into the accident and emergency department.
I really do hate these places. Nobody ever tells you anything.
Oh, come on, Poppy. Your mum's in the best possible place. Nurse, is there any news?
See, it's all this hanging around I can't stand. I'm going to get a cup of tea or something. Do you want one, Dad?
No, thank you.
Mr. Vale?
Oh, my wife. Is she all right?
Oh, yes, your wife's going to be fine, sir. Daphne collapsed not because she had anything wrong with her, but because she'd wound herself up into such an emotional state. However, I do have to tell you, she has been shot.
Shot?
Yes, but with this stuff.
I don't understand. What is that?
Dough.
Dough!
What? Dough?
Yes, Neil, dough. You know, the ready-to-bake stuff you actually get in tubes.
Are you having me on? It all sounds too far-fetched to me.
Come on, would I lie to you? This is a widely reported story, and just to prove my point, I spoke to Matthew Cuttress, who's a master baker, and he said yes, it is possible. The heat in the car would have activated the yeast in the mixture, and the build-up of pressure might have caused the dough to burst out of the tube. And if you think about it, Daphne did have her car heating on full power, so the dough must have overheated in the back of Daphne's hot car. And when the pressure got too much, the whole thing sort of exploded, hitting Daphne right on the back of the head. Ow.
Poor old Daphne. So, OK, how did she feel about going through that lot?
I felt so stupid, thinking I'd been shot. I mean, I ask you. Well, the doctors were very kind, and I never did find Mrs. Dawson's house.